Hey, you useless lump. You're going to be able to handle dinner tonight, aren't you?
Me? I'm too busy with work today. I told you I wouldn't be able to make anything. I don't have time.
Don't make excuses. You don't have a real job, and you and I both know it. You're too lazy to do any real work.
That's not true. I work every single day. I've told you so many times. Why don't you get that?
Why should I believe you? Everything that comes out of your mouth is suspect. You're a serial liar. I don't want to hear it.
You don't have to listen to me if you don't want to, but I'm telling the truth. I have a deadline coming up, so there's no way I would have time to make dinner. Can't Dad do it? Or what about you? Where are you? Have you gone somewhere?
I went out today. What kind of son are you? Your father is ill and you expect him to do your chores for you. You should think about other people's needs.
He said that he understands I'm busy with work. I mean what I said. I have a deadline coming up. Honestly, even texting you right now is a waste of my time. I really need to focus on my work.
Don't you speak to me like that. How rude. I'm your mother.
Mom, if I don't answer you, we both know you'll be angry or worried. Mostly angry. That's why I'm replying right now. But I'm telling you, there's no way I can make dinner tonight. Why don't you get Harrison to make it?
Oh my goodness. First, you want to make your poor, sick father do your work for you. And now you want to force your little brother to do your chores? Even though he's focusing on his schoolwork. College is hard work, you know. Have you lost your mind?
I know. Harrison has his homework, but he also has a part-time job and goes out and has fun often. Even though the tuition is a total waste of money, he's still going. I think he's putting off graduating because he doesn't want to take on the responsibility of a real job yet. He's at least got enough time on his hands that he could make dinner for everyone.
You can't be serious. You never went to college. You never got a real job for yourself either. You just stay shut up in your room all day. The least you could do is make dinner. If you can't help out around the house, you're just making more trouble for the family by hanging around. Can't you see that?
What are you saying? I did everything you're supposed to do. I moved out and got my own place and took care of myself for ages. I didn't move back in until Dad got sick. We talked about it before I even moved back in. I thought you understood that. I don't know what has changed lately, but you don't seem to remember that at all. I don't know why you're being like this. Don't you think you're being a bit unfair? You've said some pretty awful things to me lately, and I don't understand why.
You don't know. It doesn't matter what mess comes out of your mouth. It's all just a bunch of excuses. You haven't been able to do anything. You don't do anything to help out this family. You're just a waste of space. You take and you take, but you don't give. You lazy piece of crap. The least you could do is help out around the house.
Wow, Mom. You didn't have to take it that far.
You used to at least make dinner for your father and your brother. But if you aren't going to do even that much anymore, what are you bringing to the table? How are you earning your keep?
Look, Harrison got home a few minutes ago. I asked him to help out and make dinner tonight, and he said it wouldn't be a problem. He's already started, I think. Why do you only want me to do it? Why don't you ask him sometimes, too?
Seriously, you're going to make your brother do your chores while you play around on your phone instead.
I'm not having fun on my phone. You keep texting me, so I'm answering you, that's all. I'd rather be focusing on my work right now.
Poor Harrison. He's always so tired between studying and working. He's got a full class load this semester, too. How can you do that to him? You are such a leech. Aren't you even the least bit ashamed of yourself?
You know what? Fine. Why don't you just not worry about dinner tonight? If you're already out, why don't you go ahead and grab dinner before you go home? Find some restaurant you like and have dinner there instead. Have a good time.
You are so useless! You should be doing something to contribute to this family. Anything!
I'm going to focus on my work now, Mom. I'll talk to you when I'm done.
I thought you had committed to being a shut-in, you loser. But it looks like you went out today, didn't you? You finally got out of the house.
I told you the other day. I had a deadline for a project I've been working on. I already turned everything in, but I have a meeting to go over some of the bigger points of it today. I'm meeting with my publisher today. Do you need something from me? Do you need me to pick up anything at the store before I come home? Or do you need me to run an errand for you?
No, it isn't anything like that. I don't need anything. I don't need you to do anything for me ever again, actually.
What?
I don't want you around the house anymore. You've been a drain on the entire family since you moved back in. You're a leech, and I don't want you around. How long are you planning on staying with us? I've been telling you that you've been nothing but trouble for ages, and you just aren't taking the hint.
How many times have we talked about this already? We always have this same conversation. Can we just skip it today? I've had enough. Look, I'm a little busy right now. Let's talk about this later.
So you're going to just run away from this conversation?
What's that supposed to mean?
Every time I try to bring it up, you manage to wriggle out of talking to me.
I'm not trying to wriggle out of anything. You just always start pestering me when I'm already busy with something important and I can't properly respond to you.
I'll keep it short and simple then. Leave.
I get it. I'll talk to you later.
Don't come home today. There's nothing for you to come back to. I've already cleaned out your room.
What are you talking about?
I took all of your things, put them in a garbage bag, and tossed them out. I want you out of my house, you lazy piece of crap.
That's fine by me. I'll move out tomorrow.
Oh?
I never thought you would just kick me out all of a sudden like this. But fine. I'll just come back today and get anything that's left and tidy up. I'll be gone tomorrow. How's that? Is that okay with you?
And you'll go? Just like that?
I mean, I think it's pretty awful that you threw my things out. But at least you didn't throw away my laptop, right?
No, I didn't. I sold everything that looked like it might be worth a little money. So there's no need for you to come back at all, even today. There's nothing here for you.
What? You sold my computer? Don't joke about something like that. Surely you wouldn't do something that bad.
You just wasted time playing on it. What's the point of keeping it around? I could have just thrown it away and it wouldn't have mattered.
I can't believe you. Thank goodness I had a backup. I would have been in real trouble. In that case, fine. I won't come back tonight either. I'm gone.
That's what I was hoping to hear. I don't want to see your lazy face at my door again.
Why don't you go ahead and explain this all to Dad yourself? I can't believe you would do this to your own son. No mother would. From this day forward, I can't call you my mother again. Consider us done. I'm not your son. You're not my mom. We have no relation.
That's fine by me. I'd be embarrassed to have a son like you anyway. You're almost 30. You don't work. You don't even leave the house. You just waste your life away in your room.
Then we understand each other. Goodbye. Please, don't even try to contact me again. We are through.
Alan, what have you been up to? Living on your own can be a bit tough sometimes. How are you? If you get into any trouble or need anything, just let me know. You can come back home anytime you like, okay?
What are you talking about? What are you contacting me for? Are you up to something?
No, I don't need anything. I was just wondering how you were doing.
Seriously? I don't think you've ever wondered if I was okay in my entire life. What is going on? Is there something you need to tell me? What are you trying to do? You're up to something.
You shouldn't talk like that. It's perfectly normal for a mother to worry about her son. There's nothing wrong with that. Don't be so suspicious. I'm just worried about you is all.
You are such a liar.
What? How can you say that?
Did Dad put you up to this? Is he making you reach out to me? There's no way I am ever coming back to that house again. You can tell Dad yourself if you want, or I'll tell him. But I'm not coming back.
Why not? You should come home. Don't just throw your family away. I couldn't forgive you for that.
You won't forgive me. You're the one that threw me out. You can't just change your mind at the drop of a hat. It doesn't work like that.
I didn't just change my mind out of nowhere, you know. I had no idea.
You had no idea? About what? Oh, I think I know what you are talking about. After Dad got sick and couldn't work anymore, I was the one paying all the bills. Is that what this is about? Or maybe this is about Harrison's tuition. I've been paying for that too all this time. Did you just realize the leech was paying the bills? It was the shut-in that you hated so much that was keeping you afloat and paying for everything. Is that what this is about?
I didn't know about any of that. You should have told me. Why didn't you say anything? I had no idea.
I told you. I told you time and time again. You were too busy complaining to hear me. It's your own fault if you didn't know, because I definitely told you.
Well, I never meant to ignore you.
I understand completely. And I don't have any plans to talk to you anymore. Of course, you only contacted me because you needed something. But don't think you'll get anything out of it. I've already told Dad and Harrison. I'm not going to be supporting you any longer. I'm done paying for everyone else.
Why would you do such a thing? Doesn't it bother you to just give up on your family? Doesn't that hurt you at all? Have a heart.
Seriously. You of all people are going to say that? You're the one that kicked me out. Didn't that bother you? Now that I'm not there to pay for things, you're the one that needs to step up. You should be covering all the expenses and any of the chores I'm not there to take care of.
That's the problem. I don't have any way to pay for all that by myself. How am I supposed to pay for everything and take care of the house and take care of your father and pay tuition? I think I could at least cover Harrison's tuition, but I don't think I can do more than that by myself. I only work a few shifts a week at my job.
Well, why don't you take on more hours? You didn't really think about any of this before you kicked me out. Dad hasn't been able to work for a while now. Who did you think was paying for everything? If you'd have even thought about it for a second, it would have been pretty obvious. How could you be so oblivious?
Don't talk to me that way. I had no idea you were a successful writer.
I've been lucky. I've used social media to gain some publicity, and people have liked my work. I've become a little famous in the writing world. I've been able to pay for everything and make a good living for myself with my writing. I've got a new book coming out soon. It's a memoir about my life. You should know something. If that book does well, everyone who knows me, including all our old friends, is going to know exactly what kind of person you are.
What are you talking about? Are you joking? You shouldn't air our private business like that. What are you going to write about?
You've always been cruel to me, even when I was a little kid. You always said such horrible things to me. You always compare me to my brother. You never loved me as much as you did him. And then, even when I was taking care of our family, you kicked me out. I think it's going to make a really great book.
Now, you wait just a minute. Don't you dare publish something like that. Why don't you move back in? We can put this all behind us.
I wouldn't move back in if you paid me.
What?
I've been talking to Dad. You know he's furious with you for what you did. He said he's going to ask you to leave. He's going to try to find some work and do as much as he can to make ends meet. I'm planning to do what I can to help him out. But you? I won't give you a dime.
Your father said that.
He did. Dad said he was going to try to pay for Harrison's tuition with his savings. He might not be able to pay for all of it, but he could help him out at least. And Harrison has been applying for some scholarships and grants. He thinks he's going to be able to move out on his own soon.
What about me?
I have no idea. Maybe if you work hard at your job, they'll give you some more hours. You could live off of that, I think.
How can you be so flippant about it? I don't know what I should do. How am I supposed to make it on my own if your father kicks me out?
I'm sure if you really think on it and work hard, you'll come up with something. But it has nothing to do with me anymore. We agreed that we weren't family anymore the day you threw me out. You were happy to cut me off, so you might as well live with the consequences.
That's all in the past. It's just water under the bridge. We don't have to let it ruin our lives. We can work on things. We can fix this.
I don't see any reason to fix things now. I'm enjoying living by myself. And I'm especially happy not to have to live with you anymore. And I can get so much more work done now. My writing is really taking off. You're like some kind of plague, and I'm glad to be free of you.
How can you say that to me? I'm your mother!
Is there something better you would like me to say? But I remember everything you have ever done or said to me. How could I forget? I've written everything down in my books. Now no one else will forget either. Honestly, I wish I could forget some of it. Please, never try to contact me again. You've made a sad, lonely life for yourself. Good luck with it.
It wasn't long before Alan's memoir was published. Bookstores could barely keep it on the shelves before it sold out time and again. It was a huge hit. As all their family and friends began to read the book, Raina became more and more embarrassed. Everyone she met looked at her a little differently, and she could feel the change. People were amazed at what they read, and little by little, she lost friends. The neighbors began to gossip, and she went out less and less. She became a shut-in herself. Her husband never forgave her for throwing Alan out of the home. Once he read the book, he realized how abusive she had been to their son. He filed for divorce soon after. During the divorce, even more terrible things came to light. It turns out, Raina had even had an affair in the past. The divorce was long and ugly, and between the abuse cited in the book and the evidence of her affairs, the courts awarded most of their belongings to Alan's father. Raina was forced to start over with practically nothing. She's busy with her job every day now, but with a minimum wage job, she isn't exactly living a life of luxury. She barely gets by. Alan's book became a bestseller, and his name became well known across the country. The book even did well internationally. His next book is expected out next year.
Hey, babe, where are you? Oh God, don't tell me you're at the hospital again. Babe, I get that your mom is ill, but you can't neglect everything else so you can visit her every day. You were there all day on Monday. I barely had half a dinner. I had to go feed myself at Chick-fil-A. There is nothing you can do by going to the hospital. The doctors have nothing left they can do either.
Cameron, are you serious? My mother is in the hospital dying. I am here to see her, not to try to save her life or anything. I knew you thought poorly of my mom for being a single mother, but this is too low, even for you. You can't eat if I'm not there to make food for you. What are you, 4?
I'm just being straight with you, Chels. Can't I be straight with you, huh? You're a homemaker who has not made the home in weeks. How is that good?
That's why I'd asked you to have my mom move in with us. Then I wouldn't have to commute to the hospital every day and spend hours on the train, and my mom could spend the rest of her very short remainder with her only family. But you said no. We have no room for that. Boo-hoo.
Well, it just felt weird to say yes to something that would end in someone dying in my house. Why would I want a death to happen in my home? It's scary. And I'm not comfortable around old people. You know that. They have that smell. Old people smell. Not to mention their annoying stares and awful nagging. Always nagging. I can't stand them. You know that.
Everybody gets old, and every one of us will die someday, Cam. Do you think you won't get old and bent? You're already halfway there. And we're talking about my mom, not some random stranger. I promise, babe, I will take real good care of her. I will give her a bath every day so she doesn't smell. And you know she's not the type to nag. Has she ever said anything to criticize you? No. So please, babe, let's have her move in with us. It won't be for long. I can't bear to think how lonely she must be all alone in that hospital room. It breaks my heart. I want to be with her in her last moments. I don't want to be stuck in traffic when it happens and miss it. I will regret it for the rest of my life, Cam. Please?
No, babe, come on. It's like you said, people get older and they die. That's how it is, and that's how it's been for millions of years. You come into this world alone, and you gotta go out alone.
How can you say something so heartless? She is your mother-in-law, too. Do you not remember how crazy she was about you from the moment I brought you home to introduce you to her? She doted on you like she would her own child. How can you turn your back on someone who has loved you so much?
No. Don't put that on me. I never asked her to dote on me. She can't dote on me because she wanted to, and then expect me to do her favors. I didn't ask to be treated like her own child. It was her choice. And it's not fair to me now for her to expect me to dedicate myself to her care like I was her only child. No way, Jose. Ask anyone, babe. I'm not being unreasonable here. What son-in-law even knows the first thing about taking care of a sick, bedridden mother-in-law? Maybe your mom ought to have had a son then, or gotten remarried.
You're being so cruel. How can you be so selfish and so cruel? Just stop. You win. I will never bring this up ever again. Just stop talking about my mother like that.
Great. Are you heading home now then? I'm getting off work in half an hour. I was craving your broccoli casserole today. Have that ready for when I get home, will ya? Oh, and I need a new razor too. Okay, see you at home. Bye. Hey, Chels. I forgot to mention earlier, but you need to make sure the guest room is vacuumed and cleaned today. And maybe wash the sheets again for some good measure.
What's going on? Are we having guests over?
Yeah, my mom is coming.
For what?
What do you mean for what? She has Alzheimer's, so she can barely function, let alone take care of my dad. I'm a little disappointed in you for not offering to have her live with us already, but oh well, I got it taken care of. You'll get the chance to redeem yourself as the good daughter-in-law after she's settled in. I'm counting on you, babe.
She has your dad to take care of her. Why does she need to come live with us?
My dad has never set foot in the kitchen except to grab a beer or two in his life. How is he gonna take care of my mom? You're kidding, right? You know how my mom is now. She can get real aggressive and she sometimes doesn't know where the bathroom is, so she will just go on the floor in the living room. You think my dad can deal with that? He's like 70 years old.
If she's that bad, then she should be seen by a doctor. Possibly put in a home where she can get the professional care that she needs. I don't have the medical knowledge or expertise to take care of an Alzheimer's patient. Are you going to step up and do it since she's your mom? Are you willing to give her sponge baths, make her bland foods and puree them so she doesn't choke, clean and change her diapers, wash her clothes with gentle soap, etc.? If you're doing all that, then yes, by all means bring her over. I'm not about to get in the way of some fantastic mother and son quality time.
What, me? What about work? I have a job, Chels. You, on the other hand, you sit around doing nothing all day. I bring you a fat paycheck twice a month. This is the least you can do for me. I'm not about to work my ass off all day, come home and take care of someone who can't go to the bathroom by herself.
Newsflash for you, Cam. I do not sit around at home all day. Do you think your clothes get magically washed and fold themselves into their drawers? Just because you don't see me do them doesn't mean I don't do them.
You're so difficult sometimes. Just listen to me for once. You're living under my roof, so you need to do what I tell you to do, especially in times like these. If you can't get that through your head, then you're welcome to leave, Chels. I dare you.
How could you say that? That's not funny. We've been together 20 years, Cam. What have I done to make myself be seen as nothing but a janitor to you?
I don't think of you as a janitor, you're my wife, and I expect a wife to do certain things that the husband asks her to do, for him. Right now, I'm asking you to go and clean up the guest bedroom, maybe dust the blinds while you're at it. I don't want my mom coughing up a storm her first night there. Where are you? I told you my mom is coming today. Why is the house a mess? It's like a bomb went off in here, babe. The dishes from this morning are still in the sink, for God's sake. And why is the guest bedroom untouched? Did you forget to clean it? My mom is already here. Where is she supposed to sleep tonight, babe?
She can sleep with you in your bed for all I care, Cam.
What?
I'm not spending another second in that house with you, let alone your mother. You be a good boy for your mama and tuck her in your bed, all right? You two won't have to worry about me being a third wheel.
Are you crazy? I'm not an animal. What grown man, married and with a child who is also almost a grown man, sleeps in the same bed as his mother? That is beyond inappropriate. It's disgusting. You need to get your head checked, Chels. What the hell? Why would you even suggest that?
You are the one whose head needs checking, Cam. Every single time we went to visit your parents, you left the bedless guest room we were in to go sleep on the couch in your parents' room. You said it was okay because you were their son. It's not weird, you said. It's normal, you said.
That was a different story. My parents' guest room didn't have a bed. You know I can't sleep on hard surfaces. It's not like I crawled into their bed and curled up spooning my mom. I slept on their love seat. I slept in the fetal position. I wasn't comfortable or anything.
And you think that justifies the fact you left your wife to sleep on the cold floor wearing towels as an extra blanket? Then in the morning, you would demand I should make some breakfast to score points with your parents. Do you remember that? Maybe you don't, since we haven't visited them together in a while. I wonder why.
Well, it wasn't just us that had to sleep in that guest bedroom. My sisters use that room when they visit too. Do they complain? No. There's no need for you to sound so petulant. It was never for more than a couple nights anyway. Sheesh. What did you want to happen? My senile parents offering us their plush bed so they can sleep on the laminate floor in the guest bedroom instead? Would that have made you feel better, Chels? Enough of this now. Come home right now and clean this mess. Make some food for my mom so she can get on with her nap. And while she naps, you can clean. I don't care. Just get back here before I lose it.
I've already told you, I'm not going back to that house anymore. I am dead serious, Cam.
Enough! This is your last chance to come home without any consequences. I am literally fuming right now, Chels. Don't you test me. Get home now. Or else.
Or else what? You're gonna kick me out? Guess what? I'm already out, Cam. Or you're gonna divorce me? Guess what? I'm already gone, Cam. You're out of threats, Cam. It's always the one with more to lose that shows their cards too soon. They always make the mistake of projecting their desperation onto the other. You think I'm scared of you leaving me? Divorcing me? What can you possibly think of that I would be left wanting if you and I divorced? The only thing is you, and frankly at this point I would love nothing more. Along with you, your awful mother will disappear from my life. How did you ever figure that could be a threat you could throw at me?
Fine. Alright, you win. I know your pride can sometimes get in the way of accepting your mistakes. I will be the bigger man here. After all, I am a man. So come back home. This is me waving the white flag. This is me extending an olive branch. If you come home now, I'm willing to pretend none of this ever happened, and we will just go back to the way things were, okay?
You really can't read the situation here, can you? You offering me an olive branch is like a death row inmate telling the executioner, I won't murder you if you let me go right now, you big dummy. Your threats have no bearing on me. It's embarrassing how badly you're taking this. That mess you saw at home was for me packing my stuff up and leaving. Didn't you notice the emptiness? What am I thinking? Of course you didn't notice. It's not like you've ever paid attention. So for the last time, there you have it. I have completely vacated myself from your house and from your hypocritical presence. I am done with you.
Are you for real right now? Alright, talk me through your plan. You're gonna leave me. You are going to leave me? You're nothing but a stay-at-home wife who hasn't had a real job in decades. What are you gonna do out there in the real world to feed yourself? Where are you gonna live? I can already see you crawling back, asking for my forgiveness, and you haven't even been gone 2 minutes yet?
That's your biggest flaw, Cam. You underestimate people. You don't give others a second thought, thinking nobody could ever be smarter than you. Do you really think I left you without a plan? Do you underestimate me because I'm a housewife, or because I'm a woman?
Well, you leave me no choice. You will live in my house, spending my hard-earned money, buying one useless thing after another, eating my food that you bought with my money. And you still won't do a single thing you don't want to do? That's your pride talking. You are being selfish. If you wanted to have some say in how I run this household, you should have gone out and brought in some cash too. Maybe then you'll realize how hard and sometimes degrading it is to be the breadwinner. You'll finally realize how miraculous and wonderful it is to have a successful husband bringing you big wads of cash to feed your ungrateful mouth every time.
Oh, I know all about working for money. I've been doing that for a while now.
What? You?
Ever since my mom passed away 2 years ago, I've been waiting for this moment. Remember how you thoroughly rejected my plea to have my mom spend her final days under my care in our house? And do you remember how, a few days after we had that one-sided discussion, my mom passed away alone in her hospital bed because, exactly like I feared, I was stuck on the train on my way to see her? You had made it crystal clear to me that I will never be treated as anything but a lazy pet to you unless I had my own financial stability. So, I've been working 2 secret jobs and saving up every penny. I've worked to sustain myself independently, without you.
What could a homebody housewife of 20 years do to make money? Who would want to hire you?
That's what I was afraid of at first too, but there were plenty of people out there who wanted to hire me for my expertise. So, while working for Molly Maid part-time, I got myself a hospice caregiver license. And now I'm working a fantastic job at a retirement complex where I'm genuinely appreciated. It's quite something, Cam. I love every second of it. It's no question which I'd pick in a heartbeat. Living the rewarding life, surrounded by the wisest of people, or living as a lowly maid who changes your awful mother's bedpan every 2 hours? So, I guess I'll see you at court. For our divorce proceedings?
Who even are you, Chels? I don't know you anymore. How can you be saying all these irresponsible things? If you leave me, what am I supposed to do with my mom?
Didn't you tell me that people come into this world alone, and they most definitely leave alone? Aren't those the exact, maybe slightly tweaked words that came out of your mouth when my mother had a few more days on this earth? Does it bother you now that the tables have turned? Now that it's your precious snowflake of a mother?
It's normal for a daughter-in-law to care for her mother-in-law, but men just aren't built that way, to take care of his in-laws. We are hunters, and you are gatherers. You're both women, for crying out loud. And think about the skewed perspective this might teach our son. Have you even thought of that? What example are you leading if you abandon your husband and his mother?
I did think first and foremost about our child, Cam. I always do. I am leading by example that one needs to stand up for themselves. Forget antiquated gender roles set by men in the 50s who could buy a whole house on a milkman's salary. I am most definitely leaving you so our son doesn't grow up mistreating women like you do.
But it's not like I'm telling you to look after some stray cat. It's my mother you were talking about abandoning.
You abandoned my mother. I'm so confused as to why in God's name you can't see a difference here. Oh my God, Cam, I am so tired of this. I wasn't going to say this because it'll only give you the satisfaction of letting you know that I know. But why don't you ask your perky little mistress to move in and take care of your mom?
What? What mistress? What are you talking about?
Oh, you're gonna play dumb now? So the Chanel No. 5 perfume you bought was for yourself then? And you checking into that motel on a Tuesday afternoon was what? You taking a nap? See, there is that habit of yours where you underestimate others.
No, listen, it's not what it looks like.
I'm sure it isn't, Cam, but you know what? I don't care. Just set up an automated bi-monthly payment for alimony and child support and you never have to make excuses to me ever again.
No, divorce is not an option. I cannot have that on my record. Besides, I wasn't serious with her. She's a stripper. It's not like I wanted to marry her and settle down or anything, Chels.
Then she will make enough money just on the tips to help you out with your payments. If you ever want me to even consider letting you have supervised visits with your son, you will do as I say. For a change. Soon after my conversation with Cameron, I hired one of the best local divorce attorneys to get the process going, and I was able to get every single drop of what I was rightly owed. Cam initially testified that the nature of his relationship with the stripper was strictly business related, and refused to acknowledge his infidelity. But since I had copies of the extracurricular photos they'd been exchanging, his testimony came back to bite him harder than he could take. He's now paying alimony and child support with the small earnings he was able to scrounge from selling our house, while living in a tiny studio with a roommate he found on Craigslist. As for his mother, I heard she was back at home with her husband, who managed to barely afford a visiting nurse once a month. I feel a little bad that she's living in a bit of squalor, but I will only let myself feel bad for her just as much as Cam did my mother. After all, I have my own life to live now. Thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed the video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe for more.